Hey guys, welcome to another reading. This is your February forecast. So we're going to see everything you have going on in the upcoming month, what's going to be happening for you in February 2024. And today we have a selection of crystals for you to choose from. I'm going to show you what each of the crystals look like up close. Let me first show you the numbers on each of the piles. So this is pile number 1. Then we have pile 2, pile 3, and finally pile number 4. I also want to mention to you that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. As soon as you sign up, you'll get access to over 75 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. A recent video I posted is surprises happening for you in this upcoming year, as well as your innate gifts and talents that you were born with, and an 18 plus what are their late night thoughts of you reading. So if you're interested in any of those or all my 75 other readings, then you can head on over to my Patreon and get access today. And like I said, links are underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. So let me show you what each of the piles look like up close. So this is pile number 1. This is pile number 2. We have pile number 3. And finally, pile number 4. I also want to mention that I do private readings. So if you have a specific question you want to ask me, something you want me to tune into, something you want clarity on, or if you just want an energy check-in, if you just want me to channel for you and see what spirit wants to bring through, then you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can book a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. So the link for that is in my description, briarrosetarot.com. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Hey, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So if you picked this crystal, this is going to be your reading. But let's get into your cards. You guys got reconciliation, family, inspiration, and new beginnings. So for some of you guys, there could be someone from your past coming back that you guys are going to be talking to. I'm also hearing a rediscovery of yourself. So there almost may be like an old hobby or an old interest you had that you gave up at a certain point, you abandoned, and I feel like you're kind of rediscovering like a younger version of yourself, almost like a more innocent. When you, I can't be, yeah, I always like dinosaurs, but I can't be spending my time researching them anymore. I have to work at my job or something, and almost like finding a way to work that back into your life somehow. So I feel like there's things from your past that may be churned up, which makes a lot of sense because Pluto is going to be transiting into a churns up traumas and things from the past. And I feel like for you guys, there may be some reflection on like things, yeah, even possibly negative things that caused you trauma. There may be a purging or a revisiting of things that happened and old you kind of shed and let go of and thought you said goodbye to entirely, like an old ex coming back in, a twin flame that you kind of made peace with, and then they hit you up and they text you, or a old friend. And like, you know how Facebook will sometimes be like, oh, this old memory, and pop up like, this is where you were 3 years ago. You may have something like that and it triggers something or it unleashes something in you. But I feel like this is like a really joyful thing. Like to me, it feels really positive. Whatever you're revisiting, whatever is coming up is something that you're ready for. You can handle it. And it's almost like it needs to be revisited because sometimes we think we're moving forward, but we're kind of abandoning a part of ourselves, especially if it's caused by trauma or like something upsetting. And we say like, well, I'm never going to feel again, or I'm never going to be vulnerable again. And it's almost like Allowing that part of ourself to come back is reclaiming our power. So there may be something like that where you find an old journal, or you realize that, I always dreamed of being a painting. I loved to paint when I was younger, and let me pick up my old sketchbook, or let me pick up my old, watercolors and paint something. And I feel like that's really healing. Or even like, let me drive by my high school or my old house that I grew up in, and like something in that triggering something for you, unleashing something in you, revisiting the past in some way, I feel like is a theme of February. And possibly getting in touch with family or talking to family. For those of you who may have had like a falling out with a family member, this could be about revisiting a family member, or even just looking at old photos, and thinking that through. I feel like this is a time for you to really go inward, which I think is totally a theme in general in February. That's why February is like Aquarius, Pisces season. It's very quiet and inward and silent. All the latter part of the zodiac, aka the winter energy, is kind of that peaceful, silent feeling. And you see that in Pisces, how it rules over prisons and convents, and, really kind of silent, still. Sometimes that energy can be stifling. It can be like, oh my God, I'm cooped up all winter. But if you embrace it, if you kind of lean into it and say like, yeah, let me go deep into my psyche. Let me go deep into my subconscious. Let me learn about myself. Let me go into something so deep inside that it's almost another dimension. Then there can be a lot of spiritual growth that happens that way, and a lot of healing energy that comes through. Because keep in mind, Pisces is on the same axis as Virgo. So they're both healing energies, even though sometimes Pisces can feel like you're losing your mind. It can be finding another part of yourself and realizing a deeper truth that maybe not everyone is powerful enough to access. So yeah, I feel like February for you is going to be about really unleashing your powers in a way. It's almost like you're not afraid of yourself anymore. You're not holding yourself back. You're not scared to go there emotionally. So I think that also allows you to like find a lot of inspiration. Some of you guys may feel called to write or to journal or to channel or to pull tarot. I feel like you're really learning something really deep down about yourself, and there is a lot of opportunity for creativity. Again, this season that we're entering into, the beginning of Pisces season, Pisces is very creative. So this energy that's hanging around you of going deep into your subconscious is very ripe for creativity. And I feel like for you guys, this could be a creative project that comes to mind. This could be like, I need to write this book. There's a stillness around you in this month of February, and I feel like a lot of it is an inward journey. Let's get into some tarot. Let's see. So we got the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, the High Priestess, 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands, and the King of Cups. So with the 10 of Wands, you guys could still be quite busy. Some of you guys may be really busy in your job, and I almost feel like this might be an ongoing energy around you guys, that maybe I have some workaholics in this pile that are just always working, in which case, yeah, this energy is definitely going to continue. And I do feel like there's a call for you to make sure you're taking that time out to really not just work yourself to the bone and not burn yourself out. I almost feel like you have a lot of competition around you guys. There's a competitive energy hanging around this pile, and I feel like you kind of always feel like you have to go above and beyond, or you always feel like someone's nipping at your heels, and you have to like put in this work, because if you don't, someone's going to take your place. And I do feel like that energy continues in February, but there is a message that just came through really loud. That pile number 1, you guys have something so unique, so singular. You have a lot of gifts that are very deep inside of you. We got the High Priestess, the King of Cups. I feel like you guys are my very intuitive pile. Maybe a lot of you have Pisces placements, and that's why I keep getting a Pisces vibe. I feel like a lot of you guys, you have psychic abilities, or you have great channeling abilities or great creative abilities. King of Cups totally can be very creative. Water is extremely creative. Pisces is very creative. So I feel like, you know, there's a message that when you channel, when you are writing or when you are doing whatever this is, there's something so different about how you do it because you're really taking it from the divine. Whatever this is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just your career, but I feel like there's an element of channeling somehow. You know, even it doesn't have to be you're doing spiritual work directly, like you're a tarot reader or you're a medium or you're a, you know, astrologer or anything like that. I heard from like interior designers and stuff, and they'll say, I just have a feel when I just have a feeling. It just comes to me. I just know we should paint the room green, you know? And that's channeling too. That's getting a divine insight. That's an Ace of Cups moment. And same with any kind of creative field. There's an element of getting things from the divine. And that's why cups rule over creativity as well as spiritual abilities. So they're one and the same. And I feel like for you guys, whatever you're doing in your career, you need to know this message that you don't need to worry so much about the competition because what you are doing is so different. It's so much more divine. It's so much more pure. It's so special and so unique. And you don't need to worry about anyone taking your place because they never could. They would never be able to do what you're doing on the level you do it. They're not going to have your voice. And I also feel like a lot of you guys are being divinely protected in this. You're being surrounded by angels. You may have shady people around you with the Seven of Swords. You may have competitive people around you with the Seven of Wands. But I feel like you need to know that there's a hedge of protection around you. So if you do feel the need to take a little bit of a break or ramp your production down a little and not push yourself so hard, I feel like you're going to be divinely protected within that. And what you do is very different from what others may do. And that's okay because what you're offering is super, super special and super, super different. And not everyone could possibly even come close to bringing this to the table. So I feel like you're gonna really be called to give yourself a little bit of a pause this month, relax a little bit, not go quite as hard. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is really about being okay with yourself. And it's almost like you're being called to pause, which I really do think if there's any time in the year where you're supposed to pause or where it's ideal to pause, it's definitely winter. And that's why so many animals hunker down for the winter and kind of like slow their metabolism and just sleep the whole time and hibernate. This time of year, it's such a quiet, like peaceful time. And that's what I love about it as a very strong winter chart. I love winter for that reason. And I think that you guys are being called to like take a step back, dive down into the self rather than being out in the world. I'm also seeing someone doing a lot of research, learning a lot. But Spirit is saying some of you guys have, like I said, a creative project that you've been putting off doing, or you just are like, I don't have time for it. And I feel like Spirit's really tugging on you to lean forward into this, pursue this, move ahead with it, not put it off anymore. Like Spirit is saying, what are you waiting for? What is the holdup? Because I feel like Spirit has put something in your heart that actually has a lot of potential. And this reticence or this kind of like, I'll do it later, you know, it's not the vibe. Like I feel like you need to move ahead with it a little bit. You need to give it your all. Let's get into some of these cards. So we got Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation, Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic, Covenant, sacred contract, and Root Girl, the disowned self. So with Root Girl, the disowned self, again, I feel like a lot of that inner work is happening. And I also feel like some of you guys, I'm hearing, lost your identity. I feel like there's something you've been doing that it just feels like you're so burnt out. Like I want to give you a big hug and just like a cup of tea and tell you to go sit down by the couch and like relax because it feels like you are just so tired and beside yourself and exhausted. And I kind of feel like you need to give yourself that space. and pull back and rest, sometimes you have to kind of put your foot down, you know? Sometimes you have to be like, listen, I need a day off and that's it. And I need to sleep in or whatever. I know sometimes you can't, like when you're a mom and you have kids, you can't just be like, hey, 2-year-old and 4-year-old, I'm not cooking you breakfast. I'm chilling out today. So fend for yourselves. I know there's some situations where like you don't have a choice, but maybe you can go easier on yourself and not feel like I have to be doing a million activities with them every day and I have to be super productive and I have to clean the house. Maybe you can kind of like be like, today we're going to watch movies and we're going to curl up on the couch and we're going to relax and I'm going to nap while you guys watch, you know? I feel like there's things you could do to maybe give yourself a little bit more space with this. I also feel like there's an energy coming up with you paying more attention to timing. There's something you've been stressing about with timing. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this in my life. Something that you feel like there's a deadline with. I don't know what this is, but there's something that you've been worrying, like, what if I don't have time for that? What if I run out of time? What if I don't do that in my life because I run out of time somehow? And I feel like you need to know that, I don't know, there is a message that the timing does matter. So it's almost like, again, with that spiritual project you've been thinking of doing, what are you waiting for? What is the holdup? Let's go. Why are we dawdling? Why are we, beating around the bush? Why not just step forward into it boldly and claim it and go for it and give it our all? I feel like some of you guys, there's something you've been waiting on, and it's almost like the message of like, what are you waiting for? And time is passing you by, and not to freak you out, but if there's something that you want, then you need to go for it. You need to do it. You need to take it on. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same position in like a year, and you're going to be like, I didn't move forward with it. Well, maybe tomorrow. And it's going to be the same thing for a while. And we don't want that, right? So we can take the reins. We have the power to choose to like have faith in ourselves and to step forward and to be bold with it. We can choose to give into fear, or we can choose to have trust and faith in ourselves. And I feel like you guys are really being called to have faith in yourself and step forward into something. I'm also seeing some of you guys like going out more, or maybe having more fun on like your days off. Like if you do take a day off, again, for some of you guys, this may just be a rest day and you just need to like chill and sleep and take a nap and relax. But for others of you, I also feel like it's kind of like on your rest day, making sure that you go do something that's actually fun for you. Like maybe going into your town and exploring, or, going to like a cafe and having a couple of drinks, or, visiting your friend and like hanging out and actually doing fun stuff. So yeah, I feel like there's a kind of a push forward into like making the most of your time instead of just existing, instead of just letting the time slip by. Yeah, I think that's something that you guys are really being called to address in March. And with this covenant sacred contract card, it also may be something that, when it comes to this creative project you're being called to do, or whatever this is, whatever this destiny thing is that spirit wants you to work on, it may be something that you have a soul contract. It may be something that's really important for you to bring through to the collective. So if you ignore that and you just say like, well, I don't know if I'm good enough, whatever, think of it as not that you're going to get in trouble for it, but like if you made a soul contract to bring forward something to the collective, whatever it is, even just a funny, silly TikTok account, and you were supposed to lift the collective vibration by making your jokey TikTok account and doing skits on there, and you feel called to make skits and you always make your friends laugh, but you're too scared to put yourself out there on TikTok. Think of the fact that the collective vibration was supposed to be raised by your energy, and you not doing that in a way is like a transgression, and it's like a bad thing, So I don't want to freak anyone out. I'm not saying you're going to be punished, but we do come onto this planet to live out certain goals and to fill out certain duties. And so it's important. It's nothing to make light of. Or you really wanted to, you made a promise to write, I don't know, a funny romance novel, like a rom-com romance novel. Like, this is my point, is it doesn't have to be super serious. Sometimes we think of a soul mission as like, it has to be being a doctor or being a deep poet or being like a, journalist documenting the killing of wildlife in Africa. And that's not the case. We can all have missions and they're all important, and some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. In our perception, they may seem smaller, like taking care of our little brother, but that can change everything. That can be the whole world gets altered by that. You don't know the journey that, like, maybe your brother is going to have kids and then his kid is going to grow up to be, a senator and make bills that change the whole country. You never know the journey of what you're being called to do, however small it may seem. Or you're supposed to make a funny meme account on Instagram and it makes someone laugh and think and makes them feel amazing on a day when they were feeling so low and feeling so bad about themselves, and it picks their energy up and inspires them and changes their life. You really don't know how those things are going to play out. So I think you guys need to like lean forward with this. Let me get message cards for you, pile number 1. We just want some messages for pile 1. This one says, leader of the light, where are you being called to serve and support others? Exactly. I think, whatever you're going to be doing with this is going to serve the collective, serve others. So where is this? What are you being called to do? Rest, renew, recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? And this one says, anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. So if you're having a lot of anxiety, if you're stressing about something, maybe pay attention to what that is, where it comes up. What are you feeling in your body and why? Why are you annoyed by a situation? Why is it bothering you? And if that's the case, how can you fix it, address it, change it? What is it meant to bring your attention to? Because there may be a reason why you're feeling that way that you're supposed to listen to. Let's get some astrology dice and see the astrological energies at play for pile number 1. So we got Aries, Venus, and the 11th house, aka Aquarius. So we have Aquarius, we have Aries, and then we have Libra and Taurus coming through. So Venus is an energy of rest. It is an energy of chillness and recharging our batteries and expecting good things. It's a benefic that confers blessings. And it kind of shows us that we don't need to break our backs or put so much energy in, but we can sit back and we can receive. And I feel like you guys are being called to like really do that and stop thinking that the only way for you to get abundance or for you to have success is for you to work yourself to the bone, because I do feel like you guys are experiencing some burnout. So I would say maybe in this month of February, making the active choice to sit back, relax, and go more into a receptive mode. Then we have Aries. Aries is the house of the self, the first house. And Aries is a go-getter. It really goes after what it wants and pretty ruthlessly. It doesn't tend to think about all the insecurities others may have about what if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Aries is just like all gas, no brakes. So I feel like for that with you, again, with something you're being called to put your energy on, you need to start thinking about how to go about that and no longer holding yourself back with this energy of I'm scared, or what if it doesn't work out, or what if someone is better than me, or what if I'm not good enough, and just lean into it and embrace it. Whatever this creative thing is, or it doesn't have to be creative, but there's something I feel like you've been called in your heart to do. And then you're kind of like wishy-washy or doubting it, questioning it. And I really feel like for February, you're going to be pushed into like, what is the dang hold up? Let's move ahead with this. Come on. Then we have the 11th house. That's the house of friends and associates. It's also hopes and dreams coming true. I feel like you're being called to spend more time with friends, to enjoy your life a little bit more, go out more, enjoy a little bit more, have a little bit more fun, and also share something with the collective in some way. Put something out there. And like I said, Pluto's also entering into Aquarius. That's going to transform a lot of things in everyone's chart, especially when it kind of first moves into it, we really feel that contrast between Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto Aquarius can be really drastic. So yeah, I think for you guys, this is about kind of a transitional month that you are really being called to think about what you're doing, think about how you're spending your time, how you're spending your life, and whether you want this energy to continue or whether you want to move forward into something else. So I hope that resonates, pile number one. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, stories, and your observations. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my readings, head on over to my Patreon. As soon as you sign up, you'll get access to over 75 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. You will also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you, head to my Patreon. Link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. Also, if you would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot, channel for you, read your astrology, etc. So yeah, like I said, head to my website. Link is in my description, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. So if you picked this crystal, this is going to be your reading. So let's get into your cards. You guys got happiness, truth, fertility, and finding. So for some of you guys, there's going to be some big truths to reveal to you this month. We do have Pluto entering into Aquarius. Pluto is a major truth-telling energy. It tends to purge out hidden feelings, hidden meanings, hidden lies. And so for some of you guys, there may be a truth that comes to you. And I'm hearing that this is going to be very freeing to you. It's going to feel almost like a happy purging, you know, kind of like those, I know this is funny, but those videos of someone popping a zit and like all the pus oozes out and there's like that feeling of relief. I feel like there's something like that happening for you. So there may be something you find out about. And I almost feel like this relates to someone, a person from your past, maybe a family member or a friend or a loved one, like a relationship or something. But I feel like there's something you're going to find out about that almost gives you a sense of peace, like almost like there was a lack of communication and things get settled, things get put out in the open, or even if you're not communicating with that person, you find out about their intentions, or you find out that they didn't mean to do something that bothered you. So it feels like there's a sense of relief and kind of like being able to move forward in some way. Kind of like, actually, I feel like you're going to find out something really positive, kind of like someone likes you more than you thought. I'm hearing that phrase from Sally Field when she won the Oscar and she said, "You like me, you really, really like me." So that's what they're telling me in my ear. So I don't know what this is, but there's something you find out about that I feel like you're happy. It's like, oh my gosh, that's why they did that? Like maybe someone ghosted you or went no contact, or you hadn't heard from someone in a while and they do something that makes it clear that, you know, they do care about you. Or you find out from someone, like they tell you, you know, he never meant to ghost you. He got this crazy information from his family and he had to go home. You probably didn't know, but like his mom got sick and he had to fly home immediately. And that's why you never heard from him again. I'm not saying obviously that specific situation, or a family member, you know, there's something that comes out and you realize that that family member wasn't trying to be mean to you. They had their own inner trauma. But I feel like whatever this is, it leaves you in a better place. There's like a happiness with knowing this. And you're realizing that people may like you a lot more than you thought. Because I feel like there's almost like a gentle energy to you, pile number two. And you get your feelings hurt easily. You're very sensitive. You could have Pisces or Cancer placements. And, you know, your heart may be very open and very soft inside, or even Scorpio. And so, you know, when you felt betrayed or abandoned, it may have really hit you deep. And I feel like you're kind of realizing like, you know what, maybe that person, maybe I thought that they hated me or that they didn't really like me. And it really brings some kind of closure to you to know that they didn't mean it like that or it wasn't their intention. So there's something freeing around relationships that happens for you guys. We also have fertility. So if you are wanting to get pregnant, this could be a good time to get pregnant or, have a baby. Of course, that's probably going to be a small percentage of the viewers, but if that's something you're wanting, then that could happen. I also do feel like the fertility card in general can talk about events that you're ready to bring into the world. Something you're ready to do has been kind of percolating or getting itself ready energetically for a while, and we're finally ready to bring it forth. We're finally ready to move ahead. So whatever that is, whether it's a creative project, whether it's a move you want to make or a job transfer or some kind of thing you want to do, then the fertility card can show you're ready to make this happen. I am seeing travel for some of you guys in this pile as well, that you're going to travel somewhere and it's going to be really fun. Let's get into some tarot. So we got the 8 of Cups, speaking of travel, the 2 of Cups, the Knight of Wands, Page of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the 10 of Cups. So I am feeling like for some of you guys, this could be someone from your past contacting you, specifically like a romantic connection. So this could be someone that you haven't had contact with for a while, and they are wanting to reinitiate contact, and they are wanting to like patch things up, get things going again, talk to you again. I almost feel like there may be a situation you get clarity on with that as well. Like if there's someone that you've been thinking of, someone that you felt very connected to, twin flame, soulmate vibe, or just someone you really hit it off with, and maybe there's been a lack of communication or a lack of transparency around emotions. Maybe you've been wondering where this person stands or how they feel about you. There may be something that happens that really clarifies that or gives you some kind of clarity and healing and understanding of the situation. So even if they're not directly contacting you, something may happen where you're like, oh, okay, so they do really like me, or so that's how they feel. And I feel like that is really freeing for you. I feel like you honestly get a sense of, it's almost like putting that puzzle piece together. I always think that's kind of a Plutonian energy, is like the final puzzle piece that clicks into place, and then you see the whole image on the puzzle, kind of like, I don't know how this is going to go. And then you just put that puzzle piece in place and it all makes sense. It's kind of like that finding out of that vital piece of information that just makes everything else click into place and make sense. And so I feel like for you guys, there's something that's going to happen or move forward with that gives you some clarity. And whether it's positive or negative, whether it's like, I'm not actually that into you, or whether it's I'm really into you and I really like you, I feel like overall the sense is really positive. Like you're able to come away from this with a really good sense of forward momentum. So whether it's leading you into, okay, so we are going to date, or okay, so we're not going to date and maybe I'm going to have to date someone else, or I'm going to have to move forward in a different direction. Either way, I feel like you're happy and the trajectory you're on is really, really good. And you're not desperate, you're not sad, you're not beside yourself after this. So honestly, it feels like whatever comes out about this is a good thing. It's a good feeling. It could even be that thing where maybe you find out that someone from your past isn't that into you, but you're already dating someone new. Because this could be a good month for dating as well, with the Knight of Wands, the Page of Cups. Those are two very kind of charming energies, we'll say, very romantic energies that can be very, I don't know what else to say other than charming, like that person that takes you out on a date and it's a great date and they really have fun and you know, they have a great conversation. They take you to a nice restaurant. It's exciting. You know, you never have to worry about boredom with either of those cards. They both have like a charm and a charisma and something that makes them really fun to hang around. So I feel like for you guys, this could be like a really great date. I mean, actually, these can be two players if in certain things of astrology or in certain tarot pulls, depending on the other cards, it can sometimes be like, ooh, they're a player. But I look at that as a good thing because it's kind of like that person that you never have to worry that the conversation is dry with. You never have to worry that you're going to go on the date and it's going to be so awkward because of the charm that both of them have in different directions. Both of them are going to at least make sure that, like, you know, it's a good time and you have fun and you enjoy yourself. So not saying this is a player, definitely not, especially combined with the Two of Cups. This could be that person from your past coming back and you guys dating or you guys going out or them coming forward with their feelings. But it also could be like more of an open dating energy. So depending on how you interpret it or what stage you're at in your life, what resonates with you, take it how it resonates and leave the rest. So if you're wanting to date around, if you're wanting to go out, have fun, meet some people, enjoy, then this could be that. If you're like thinking that it is specifically about that one person, then this could be some forward momentum in that relationship and them stepping forward to tell you more honestly of how they feel about you. The Hanged Man can also be that revealing moment. It can be that genuine truth, that Neptunian moment of like, this is how it is, because you know, all the water signs can be about hidden truths. If you think about water, it kind of hides and obfuscates, you know, so when you think about the moon or when you think about Neptune or of course, Pluto is definitely about revealing truths, but I think Neptune can as well because it's so deep in the subconscious. It can be about, you know, someone's telling you like, I don't really care about that guy, but you know they do, you know they're crying, you know they feel something. You know, when you think about the moon, which rules Cancer, at night, maybe it's completely dark and then the moon comes out and you can see, and you're not going to see as clearly as in the sun when the sun's out, but you can see slivers and you can see things that were previously hidden. And that's what water can often reveal, is deep in the subconscious. Even when someone is acting a certain way or telling you something with their actions, you know, the water signs often can see deep into it with their psychic intuition and pull out, ooh, I think you actually feel this way. So whatever it is, this may be about you getting to the bottom of something. Again, could be this ex-twin flame energy, or it could be with a different situation, especially I'm hearing related to your family, something being revealed about your family, family secret, anything like that. And we do have the Ten of Cups, which is definitely a family energy. But I feel like overall, I'm also getting, if this is about your family, this could be vindication. It's almost like if there were people that tried to say you were dysfunctional or something, something is being revealed about your family where you're like, no, I wasn't the dysfunctional one. You guys were. And something comes out about that. Again, not for everyone, but if you have had estrangement from your family, if you have felt like the black sheep or the odd one out, there could be a source of information that comes out that lets you realize that it was not that way and that there's actually, you know, a deeper thing happening that's maybe generational, that you weren't the problem, that this is like a lot deeper than that. For some of you guys, this could be if you have Aquarius in your fourth house. So you could have Aquarius, as the ruler of your fourth house, or just Aquarius, maybe not ruling the fourth house, but Aquarius in the fourth house. So like, you could have, I guess, a Capricorn fourth house as the ruler, but the energy of Aquarius is still in your fourth house. You could have a Pluto transit into Aquarius that affects the fourth house somehow, because I almost feel like there may be stuff coming out about your family, and Pluto does reveal truths. Not for everyone, but for some of you guys. And of course, you can look into your astrology and see you know, what transits are happening in your 4th house or in your 7th house of relationships, because those are the 2 areas I'm seeing highlighted for you guys, possibly your 5th house as well of romantic relationships. So look at all those houses and see which one is having the most activity to see which of these readings really apply to you guys. But I am seeing travel. I am feeling like some of you guys, you could even be moving or something. We have the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups can mean that you're leaving something behind, leaving something in the past, ready to really release and let go of something. I feel like wherever this is taking you, it feels more fun to me. It doesn't feel like it's a negative move or a boring move or, I have to move. And it's just like, ugh. It feels like wherever you're going, this could be a lot more fun. Even if it's just a travel, it could be a really fun trip. It could be you enjoying, relaxing. And I do feel like you're being called to make time to relax. With the 10 of Cups, this could be a great month for you to kind of sit back, enjoy life a little bit more, take things a little bit more easy. I also am seeing for some of you guys more of an emphasis on working out or eating healthy or looking after your physical self. We also have, again, Pluto moving into Aquarius can definitely change people's appearance, especially if you're an Aquarius ascendant, that can affect your appearance. And to a certain extent, people who have Aquarius in the 6th house could also be very affected by this transit and could feel really called to start working out more and to look after their health a little bit more. But definitely Pluto Aquarius, if you have an Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius energy in the 1st house, this could definitely make you decide to change something with your appearance, lose weight, gain weight, whatever, and take steps to make that happen. Let's get into some more cards. So we got Covenant, Sacred Contract, Skywriting, the Fates, Drifter, Experiencing Life as It Comes, Horned Cactus, Resourcefulness, and Fortune's Wheel, Luck and Right Timing. So honestly, this is a really positive month for you guys. Fortune's Wheel is a very positive energy. It relates to Jupiter, Sagittarius energy, which is such a blessing. And it is that benefic that makes everything flow for us, makes us have luck and blessings and all the good things in life. So it's very, very positive when we see this card come up upright in a reading. I do feel like for you guys, again, with this Covenant Sacred Contract, there may be people that you have sacred contract, past life contracts or soul contracts with. And again, that does not have to mean a romantic connection. We can have soul contracts with all kinds of people, and they can be positive or negative. Again, knowing that everything is working out for our greatest and highest good, and that we come to this earth to live out certain timelines, and they're not all, I want to get rich and I want to have so much money and have the most fun I could possibly have. Sometimes our soul contracts are we need to learn, we need to master something, we need to work through a trigger, we need to, level up in some way. So sometimes we have sacred contracts with people that are actually can feel very negative in nature and can feel very triggering in certain ways. And a lot of times that comes through with family members, right? Because no one can trigger us like a family member. And especially, parents, and that goes both ways. A lot of parents will have kids that trigger them and vice versa. And that's because it is like that lesson in school that is the extra hard one that teaches us the most. But whatever is coming out of this connection with this person or this reconnection or this information that comes out about this person with the soul contract, again, it feels like it's vindicating. It feels like you are like on the right side of history. You get some kind of like knowledge that you're like, yes, I knew this, or I thought so, or it's like vindication big time. It's a feeling that I was right. You know what? I knew it. I was right all along. And so I feel like you come away from that feeling really, really happy. I also feel like if you are traveling, again, we got Drifter, Experiencing Life as It Comes. You're in a very free looking after yourself energy. And I think you're supposed to be in that energy. If you're not in that energy, get in that energy. I feel like you're supposed to enjoy yourself this month and not take things so serious. There is a message about if you are considering reaching out to this ex twin flame soulmate person, that you need to kind of relax and let them do it. I feel like you're kind of in a receptive energy this month. So you're not supposed to be doing a whole lot. You're supposed to be receiving receiving. So if there's something that happens where you're like, oh, should I text them? Should I say something? I don't know. No, I feel like you're supposed to wait and let that come to you. Let's get into some messages for pile number pile number 2. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we got everything's a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need in your life that you're not currently getting? Okay, and yes, everything is a reflection. Everything is an opportunity to grow. So even the people that trigger us, maybe they're triggering us in a way to make us move past that energy, to make us, alchemize it. Just like in alchemy, the ultimate proof of alchemy was taking the lowest possible element, aka lead, and turning it into gold. That meant that you were the most powerful. When you could take something that was meant to harm you, or that's something that's bad, and making it good and perfect and pure, that's how you know you have reached the highest spiritual ability. So, even those times when we feel really brought to the edge or hurt or upset about something, that is an opportunity to prove that our energy is so aligned that we're not going to let it get us down. We're going to stay positive, focused, and keep our eyes on the prize. So the other cards you pulled, deep inward journey, you will be rewarded for the work. How can you alchemize your fear? Oh my God, that is so weird, because when I pulled that card, I didn't even look at them. I was literally just channeling. So me talking on and on about alchemy, I just love that confirmation. Thank you, Spirit, for confirming. Okay, so we're gonna confirm that as alchemy, and then take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? And I do feel like you're being called to really go on adventures, do things you love, find things that are going to be fun and fulfilling and exciting for you. Again, with this travel energy or this move energy, this is about where can you find more joy in your life? Where can you seek out excitement? So again, even if it's like you're feeling called to date, I feel like sometimes when you say, well, you're going to be dating a lot, people get so disappointed and they'll be like, oh my gosh, but I want my twin flame, or I want my husband. And I totally get that. But the more you can enjoy the process and like exist where you're at and find fulfillment in the moment and like love the season you're in, the faster you're going to alchemize that person to you. So don't think of it as like, oh my God, so I have to be single. Take it as like, so I get to be single. So I get to have these adventures. So I get to meet these people. So I get to enjoy myself until my person comes to me. That sounds great. And then you're going to alchemize that to you 10 times faster, because you're not going to have an energy that's like sitting around sulking, feeling lonely, poor me, because that has a really repulsive energy, and that's gonna become what you become what you think of. So the more lonely and sad, and this is so unfair, you feel, the more lonely and sad you'll be, and the more happy and joyful and fulfilled, and I'm surrounded with love, and I have so much fun, and find so much joy and fulfillment in my life, the more joy and fulfillment will come to you. So I think you guys are going to have fun this month in February. Let's get into some more astrology dice. We got Aquarius, we got Pisces, and then we got Sagittarius, Jupiter. Love that for you guys. So we have technically Jupiter, Aquarius, the 12th house, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Pisces. So let's talk about Jupiter, the first one we pulled, and that one is what we've been talking about. There's a benefic energy around you, blessings, luck on your side. I feel like this is a great month to explore. Jupiter loves to explore. Jupiter loves to learn and have fun. Sagittarians hate to be bored. They love to be exploring, trying new things, going new places. They really love to live life to the fullest. And that's why Jupiter or Sagittarius is such a like fun energy to be around, because they're always onto something new. They're always trying something new, going new places, learning something new. So I really feel like whatever you're doing this month, make sure you fill your free time with fulfillment. This would be a great month to go out to bars and meet people, or go to a restaurant, or just, not necessarily sit inside on the couch. But like, if you're like, well, I just want to have a glass of wine today, maybe go to your local corner bar and have a glass of wine at the bar and chat with the person next relax you instead of doing it at home. Or maybe if you're like, I just want to stay at home with my man and just watch Netflix, that's fine. But maybe, you know, you guys can go out to a restaurant and eat and then go to the movies out in public and go shopping or something, and make it more fun and being out in the world, because Sagittarius loves that. Then we have Aquarius. Aquarius is coming through a lot, and I honestly keep thinking it's because Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto's entering into Aquarius, and it will have just entered Aquarius in this month of February. So it's entering at the end of January. So by February, it's going to be in Aquarius. And then it's there for most of the year, boomeranging back in the fall. But pretty much we're starting to really enter into that Pluto and Aquarius major 20-year cycle. This is so impactful. It's so exciting for the collective. And I feel like for you guys, wherever Aquarius is, again, Aquarius tends to, or Pluto tends to reveal information. So as I mentioned, this could be in your 5th house or your 7th house. Those are both romantic houses. It could also be in your 4th house of family. But it feels like, you know, Pluto is kind of like Saturn in that it will reveal the places where you haven't done the work. And if you have done the work, you don't have to worry as much. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is maybe about other people having things that they need to be revealed. Not that you don't have to do any work. Of course, we all are all works in progress. We all have stuff we can improve upon and do different. But I do feel like you're getting vindicated about something. You're getting proved right. Like it's almost like there's something here that you're like, I told you so. And you get revealed. It all gets revealed and it all comes out in the wash. And there's a real sense of happiness with that. Aquarius also rules over large groups. It also rules over wishes coming true, the 11th house. So this is a positive energy as well. And with the ruling over the large groups, I really feel like this is a social month for you guys where you should go out a lot. You may have a lot of opportunities for socializing. You may get invited out, and Spirit is saying to really have fun this month and make the most of this energy. Then we have the 12th house. 12th house is ruled by Pisces and Neptune. It's a highly psychic, very intuitive sign. It's also very creative. I feel like for you guys, the 12th house may be making you a little bit more psychic. It may be revealing things. Again, I feel like you're going to find out some kind of vital piece of information that you really wanted to know. 12th house or Pisces is also a romantic energy, and it's really a soul connection type of energy. That's why Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's really kind of that soulmate energy when it comes to the Venusian expression of Pisces. It's like a soul love, you know, it's like a really deep love. And I feel like there is maybe someone coming back from your past for some of you guys that wants to reveal something, or you realizing that they cared more than they acted, or you finding out some clarity about the situation. But I feel like you're going to figure it out when you're doing your own thing. All these signs are very independent. We have Sagittarius, we have Aquarius, we have Pisces. These are kind of like, I feel like the commitment folks of the zodiac, actually. A lot of them are hard to tie down. A lot of them will ghost and have bad reputations for that reason. But really, I feel like they all have what they have in common is this independent energy. I'm going to focus on me. And if you add to my life, then I'll kind of welcome you in and connect with you. But I'm going to make sure I'm marching to the beat of my own drum, and I'm kind of listening to my own inner compass and my own inner path and letting it take me where it will. Especially Pisces and Sagittarius, they're both ruled by Jupiter, so they both have that energy of allowing Jupiter to take it wherever it wants to go. Neither one is like, oh, it has to look like this, and I'm very rigid and it has to be this way. Both of them are kind of like, yeah, that's fine. We can do that or whatever. And they're both mutable. So I really feel like for you guys, this is about letting things unfold. If this person is meant for you, let them come to you. Let them prove themselves to you. Let them show themselves to you. Focus on living your life and doing your best thing. And whatever truth this is that's meant to reveal, whether it has to do with family, whether it has to do with this romantic connection, it's going to be revealed in its own time. So have fun in the meantime. Focus on yourself and enjoying your life, living your best life, and trust that that process is going to unfold exactly as it should. So I think that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, stories, your observations. So let me know what you think. Also make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my readings, head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about your innate gifts and talents that you were born with, and before that, one about what is going to surprise you in 2024, and a reading about their 18 plus late night thoughts of you. But there are over 75 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. So if you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description for Patreon. And you also get early and ad-free access to my YouTube video. So double whammy. You get lots of benefits over there. And we also vote and suggest new readings, or you guys suggest them. So if all that sounds good to you, head to Patreon. Link is underneath the timestamps in the description and the comments. And if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, or a combination of all three. You can have me do an open energy check-in, a channeling session, or you can ask me specific questions, totally up to you. So like I said, head to the link underneath or just in the description, at the top of the description, for a private session with me, briarrosetarot.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you picked this crystal, this is going to be your reading. But let's get into your cards. You guys got well-being, empowerment, financial health, and boundaries. So some of you guys may really be learning how to look after yourself better this month. There may be a health kick you're going through. Some of you guys may start paying a lot more attention to your health, what you're eating, what you're doing for exercise, how you carry yourself, how you present yourself to the world, even self-care, like maybe you're changing something up with your shower routine. You know, maybe you buy like a special scrubber or a special brush or something, or an exfoliating thing. I don't know, but I feel like you are really doing work with how you present yourself to the world and putting a little bit more effort into that. Some of you guys may be getting something like a haircut or a facial, or doing some kind of self-improvement on that same kind of vibe. I feel like you are, whatever work you're putting in, it is paying off and you are looking really good. I also feel like you guys are thinking long term, not just with your physical appearance, but also with your finances. We got this financial health card, and there may be an emphasis on you going over numbers, like looking through your taxes or looking through your income statements and kind of piecing those together and making certain choices, or looking through your stock portfolio and deciding you want to invest differently. But I feel like it's almost like this is a maintenance month, and there's a lot of focus on what can I improve? What can I do differently? How can I make myself stronger? And kind of doing those things that aren't that much fun. They're not as glamorous as some of the other things that, you know, we could be focusing on, the more fun or short-term things. But we're coming away from this month having drastically improved our lives. So by taking the hard look at, how was I spending my money? Maybe I should come up with a budget, or maybe I should start hitting the gym and make an appointment with a trainer. It may seem kind of boring to do that, to have to research trainers, or have to start saying, I'm not going to have dessert tonight, or I am going to have dessert, or whatever. But making choices for our health, sometimes, you know, it's not as fun, but we're going to be much happier long term and feel much more fulfilled long term. And I feel like some of you guys are realizing your own power with that. I could also see someone in this pile, not everyone obviously, but someone opening or starting a business, or putting a lot of thought towards starting a business and maybe moving forward with that, or starting to take the steps they need to bring that into fruition, so it stops being just an idea and turns into a genuine reality. I also could see some of you guys this month learning to put up boundaries with certain people or pruning certain relationships from your life, no longer putting as much energy into certain types of people and relationships that maybe in the past you gave passes to or you let slide and you kind of turned the other cheek or looked the other way. And now you're really starting to take a hard look at things and be like, what do I need to change about my life? What do I need to do differently? So I could see some people, especially since Pluto is going to be shifting into Aquarius, and we're all going to feel that collectively through February, as Pluto will have just shifted into Aquarius right at the end of January. Some of you guys may have Pluto transit for the first house, so you may have an Aquarius ascendant, and that may transform how you appear to others and make you want to make different choices with how you present yourself to the public. So you may make a decision to dye your hair or change how you dress or change your weight or do something like that. And I could also see this being a Pluto transit through the sixth house of health, where you decide to change your diet, again, change your weight, change your exercise regime. But I do feel like you are looking at things very harshly for yourself. You're kind of taking that microscope to yourself and starting to look at yourself underneath that microscope and seeing yourself very clearly, seeing yourself harshly in a way that I think is going to very much empower you for the rest of the year. So by the time you decide to implement these changes and actually apply them to your life consistently, I feel like you're going to be in a much better place come summertime or come fall. So let's get into some of your tarot. So we got the Death card, the Knight of Swords, Justice, Page of Cups, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So with the Death card, that makes perfect sense because it does feel like you're making those hard choices and really leaning into what you need to shift. And the Death card is ruled by Scorpio. So speaking of Pluto, you have that Scorpionic willingness to embrace change, willingness to let go of something and to understand that whatever we purge, whatever we release or let go of is going to transform us into a better version of ourselves. And that it's an opportunity to really ascend and become a more powerful version of our soul by embracing the change, by being willing to release. So yeah, I feel like there's major endings, possibly with relationships, possibly for some of you guys leaving behind a job or starting to really think on that. You know, I feel like there's things that almost have bothered you for a long time that come to a head in the month of February and really make you decide that you're ready to leave it in the past for good. So like I said, it may be a job you've worked at for a while and you kind of didn't love it, but you didn't want to leave and it's fine. And let me just kind of pretend it's all good. And in the month of February, you're like, I hate this job. I need to send my resume out and I need to start researching new companies. Or I hate this town I live in. And you know what? I want to move. And it's like that decision kind of crystallizes in your mind and becomes something more solid and tangible than it was before. So whatever you're deciding on, it feels like by the time you leave February, your mind isn't going to change back. Whatever is changing for you is going to be very solid and decisive. And whatever you're ready to leave in the past, it's going to be left in the past. It's not going to be like a temporary, like, oh, I changed my mind. And you know what? I was in a bad mood and whatever. It's going to be like, yeah, I'm so glad I left that behind and we burned the bridge down on our way out and there is no going back to that. And I do feel like this could have to do with people. Like if you're choosing to leave your job, it may be because of shady coworkers, or if you're choosing to leave your city, it may be that you just don't feel like super connected to any close friends in the city you live in. But whatever you're leaving behind, I feel like you're kind of fed up, and it may be with the people around you or the quality of your relationships and kind of this energy of putting your foot down and admitting that you deserve more and that you're not willing to pretend anymore. So it's actually a very strong energy, and you guys may be doing that detailed work that it takes to send out a resume and compile all your work history and write out a cover letter. We have the Knight of Swords, which can involve a level of writing, a level of communication. So you could be beginning that process that requires a lot of detail, or going over your expenses and realizing you've been spending way too much money on food or way too much money on clothes or whatever, and going over that budget with an eye for detail and really paying attention to all the little things you should switch or change or do differently, kind of going over it with a fine-tooth comb and paying attention to the stuff that maybe you overlooked in the past. It feels like a lot of these details start sticking out to you this month, and you're very focused on them. We have the Justice card as well. And so the Justice card is kind of a similar vibe. It's very detail oriented. It's definitely going to pay attention to what needs to be shifted and changed and how fair a situation is. There may be situations that you find really unfair that in the past you overlooked. Maybe your boss doesn't really treat you that well and you kind of would make excuses, or you get a shady vibe from your coworker, but you try to keep the peace. And this month you're like, I'm done. I am done with this entirely. I feel like there's a need to let go of some of this stuff before you can move into a more fun energy, because we do have the Page of Cups that wants to come through. The Page of Cups can be a really joyful energy that's really focused on fun and excitement and what makes you feel good and having a good time. But I almost feel like that energy could be blocked because there's so much like negative stuff that needs to be purged first. That we can't focus as much on the fun and the excitement, because every time you try to, there's like this little fly buzzing nearby or this gnat that just won't leave, and you're kind of so annoyed by that, and it's diffusing your energy in a negative way. So I feel like once you get rid of that, then you're able to enjoy yourself a little bit more. And Spirit is reminding you that I almost feel like there's a lot of stress and anxiety you're feeling. There's a lot of a sense of kind of, I'm stuck in this situation and what do I do? And I think it's a fine line to walk when you're in these situations, because on one hand, you do want to be really honest with yourself and you want to call a spade, and sometimes you've got to admit to yourself, this isn't working and I have to leave, or I'm done with this, or this is really negative. But then you also don't want to like dwell in the negative. So you can feel very torn. And I think that there's a message that we can have that balance, just like the Justice card shows us when balancing between paying attention to the details, acknowledging situations that are unfair, and also choosing to keep our eyes on the prize of what's positive. So it's not to say put on some rose-colored glasses and go into delusion mode and be like, everything's awesome, when it's clearly not. But we don't have to dwell, and we don't have to get obsessive about like, but this is so unfair. And one of the ways that can happen is if we just trust ourselves. We trust ourselves that like, I am going to move forward. I'm not going to stay stuck in this. I will listen to my intuition and I will cut these people out, or I will leave jobs, but I'm also not going to like drive myself crazy with stress or anxiety. Like I think of some of the times when, like I've gotten really mad about a situation, or I've been really stressing about something constantly. Part of it is this inner fear I have of like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to be chill about it. I'm going to relax into Pisces energy again, and then I'm not going to fight it. So I need to get myself really mad and really agitated, so I'll fight it. Or, almost like, that vibe when like your girlfriend comes to you and she's venting about her man and she's like, this is it. His situation is, I can't believe he did that. And she's so mad, and you almost feel like she's playing it up because she wishes she would listen. She doesn't want to keep going back to him. So she's trying to like amp herself up and be like, he's awful and I need to leave him. But, she's whipping herself into a frenzy. And I think that energy, like it's almost like when you tell yourself like, it's okay. You have permission to be mad, and I will listen to you, but I also don't want to like have my cortisol spike and be like so stressed and so angry So why don't I just trust myself that I will handle this, I will move forward, and I will follow through on this instinct or this intuition or this sense that it's time for me to leave this situation. I promise, like promising yourself and following through with like, no, I'm listening and I'll leave. I get how upset you are and I will listen to that. But then we don't need to stay in the energy of like rehashing it all the time. Like we can acknowledge like, yeah, that person did treat me badly and I'm ready to move on. So I'm going to do that. We don't need to like replay it constantly in our mind and tell everyone about like, they treated me so bad. We need to give ourselves permission that it's okay for us to be upset. It's okay for us to leave. And that's that. And we don't have to like agonize. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Let's get into some more cards. We got Root Girl, the Disowned Self, Woodwives, Adaptability, the Crossing, Initiation, Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibility, and Beloved, Radical Acceptance. So yeah, I think you guys are... It's almost like there's been put a lot on your plate, I want to say. There's a feeling that you have been dealing with a lot, or you've had people who have just almost taken advantage of you, or just expected a lot from you, or just demanded a lot and been kind of thankless. And maybe you're a little burnt out, or maybe you're feeling a little resentful. And you also may need to hear that you don't have to be that person for everyone. You can be selfish when you want to be. You can focus on your needs, your wants, your desires, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if someone's offended by that, then maybe they were banking on you burning yourself out for them, in which case they're kind of in a selfish energy and you don't owe them anything, you know? So maybe this is just about giving yourself the permission of like, I don't need to be that person in my office who's always there for all the coworkers and always helping everyone and constantly sitting, waiting by the email to, you know, get the email asking for help and rushing in to save everyone. Or I don't have to be the person on demand constantly for my clients, or I don't have to be the person who's just running all over the place for my parents. I feel like you're kind of realizing how to put up boundaries and realizing how to, again, it's not even about focusing so much on them. It's about focusing on yourself. It's about focusing on, instead of moving in a direction that makes you feel resentful and angry and upset, focus on moving in a direction that makes you feel good about yourself, empowered, happy, joyful. So if that means telling someone no, then do that. And if that means putting up boundaries, then do that. And really kind of prioritizing and choosing yourself. I feel like that's a message or a lesson you're learning in February is like, I deserve this. I deserve to look after myself. I deserve to treat myself well. I am not just the kind of servant for everyone else around me. So yeah, I think there's kind of a transition happening in your mindset of figuring out what really brings you joy and starting to implement the steps to make that happen. Figuring out what kind of a life would be ideal for you or would make you super happy, and then stepping away from the things that don't make you happy, or the people that drain you, or the things that, and sometimes it's like those people aren't even doing anything wrong. We never put up the boundary, so how would they know? It's kind of like if you have a bunch of invisible rules that no one knows about, then how are they going to be feeling bad if they break that rule? You know, if we don't tell someone what we expect of them, then of course they're not going to do that. So sometimes we have to take responsibility for ourselves and not blame others, but just be like, yeah, I have been way too much of a giver, or I have been way too likely to stuff my own feelings down to help others. And I'm going to focus on exactly the things that make me joyful, because the more joyful and happy and empowered we feel, the more we can also give to others. So I feel like this is also a lesson about kind of pouring your own energy back into yourself, taking time to recharge, taking time to rest and look after yourself. Let's get into some more messages for pile number 3. So we got the universe rewards motion. What guided actions can you take today? Great awakening, walk in your truth, stand firm in your light. Okay. What else? This is not your practice life. Decide. What is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? And let's get one more, or okay, two more. Charge. What does your body crave and need right now? And soul alignment. It's time for a radical shift, change. So if you're feeling like you need to shift, if you're feeling like you're ready for that change, I feel like you need to go all systems go. You know, let's move forward with it. Let's all steam ahead. Is that the phrase? But let's move forward. Let's go and do it. This is not your practice life. So if you're doing things that are making you feel out of alignment, if you're doing things that are making you feel bitter or angry or beholden to someone or like you have to do it, it's always so empowering to take that power back and realize I don't have to do anything. And maybe I have a lot more options than I realize. Maybe it'll take time for me to get out of this situation. Maybe I can't quit and leave today, but maybe I can send my resume out and start pivoting. Maybe I can't move out of my boyfriend's house right this moment, but maybe I can start sending applications out for a new home and I can begin that process. And maybe I have different options than I thought. Maybe I thought, well, I have horrible credit and I don't have much money to spend on a house, so that's why I have to live with him. But you know what? Maybe there's a place that accepts like bad credit scores for a higher deposit, and maybe I could ask a family member for a small loan. Maybe I can find a place that's actually way underneath my budget with a roommate or just living by myself and it's surprisingly low rent. You know, you never know. And when you are acting in alignment with yourself, with your greatest need and your greatest desire, and something that truly is in alignment with your heart, trust me, the universe will help you. I love that phrase from The Alchemist. The universe is conspiring in your favor. And it really comes into play when you are stepping forward in alignment with your highest self and your inner compass. That's when the universe goes, you know, all hands on deck. Let's really make this happen. So start moving forward into it. Pile number 3. Let's get some astrology dice for pile number 3. We got Taurus, we got the Sun, and we got the 10th house. So we have Taurus, Leo, and Capricorn represented here. So Taurus energy is the great builder, the second house of earned income. So Taurus, you know, for you guys, I feel like another thing about Taurus is it's very stubborn. Okay. It's a very like, that's what I want. That's what I said. And that's it. And I feel like for you guys, this is about building a life you love and also not doing things that you don't want to do anymore. Realizing that all the actions we take throughout our life is building our new future. So if we are constantly doing things that make us feel used or out of alignment or angry or bitter or why do I have to do this, then we're going to build a life compounded on that. And the more we build a life that truly feels in alignment, that truly feels joyful and like we're able to express the highest version of ourselves and like we're able to be the best version of ourselves, then the more that energy is going to continue throughout and permeate throughout every part of our life. So we are building the future as we speak. So why don't we build from a place of happiness, alignment, and inner empowerment instead of a place of powerlessness and anger and frustration and why do I have to do this and this is so annoying, because that energy is going to compound upon itself. We also have the Sun. The Sun is a selfish energy, which I love about the Sun. And I do feel like this is calling you that, you know, the Sun is the source of energy in the universe. I feel like some of you guys have been burning yourselves out for others, overextending yourself for others, trying to give to others to your own detriment, trying to push forward even though you have nothing left to give. And this is your message that that's not necessarily the best thing at all, okay? Like some of you guys really, really, really need to step back, pull your energy back and start realizing that if you burn yourself out entirely, there's going to be nothing left to give. So like if the sun went away, if the sun just burnt out one day and had nothing more, then everything on earth would die like instantly, okay? Like the moon is the other luminary, but it only reflects the light from the sun. That's how powerful the sun is. The moon is just literally reflecting it. The sun is the only like star burning, giving light. The moon just reflects it back, but that's the power of the sun. Without the sun, we wouldn't exist on earth. And so, you know, by the same token, if you're trying to give and give and give and give to everyone else, but you are not looking after your own source of energy, then that's going to be a net negative for everyone. We may think we're being so selfless by giving to others, but we're actually really messing around with the original source of energy. And the more we can pull back, take steps to look after ourselves and make sure we're doing good, the more we can give to the collective. Then we have the 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career and public honors and recognition. So it is ruled by Capricorn and Saturn. And I do feel like you're having to make those hard Saturnian lessons and choices. You're really having to take a hard look at things. Again, possibly with your finances, possibly with the relationships in your life or your career. But I feel like you're going to be so much better off after this month is over, and you're going to be so relieved that you made these decisions. A lot of these decisions are coming up for you more than ever this month. It's like things you put off in the past that you could kind of overlook. Feels like you're not able to block them out anymore, and they're just really pressing to you. So yeah, I think as February rolls on, you're going to really feel the need to start making those hard choices and to be honest with yourself about things you put off in the past and things you told yourself were fine but weren't really fine. That energy really feels like it's ending for you. So yeah, that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, stories, and observations. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and hit the like bell or the like button and the bell for notifications. Both of those always help a lot. And if you want to see more of my readings, head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about surprises coming for you in 2024, as well as your innate gifts and talents that you were born with. And before that, an 18 plus, what are their late night thoughts of you reading? And there are over 75 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in joining, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I will see you on Patreon. And if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want an astrology reading, a channeling session, tarot pull, or a combination of all 3, you can totally get that at my website. And whether it's a half-hour reading, a full hour-long reading, just you have something specific you want to know about, or you're just kind of wanting to see what your ancestors have to say, what wants to come through to you, either one works. So like I said, briarrosetarot.com, link is in my description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So if you picked this crystal, this is going to be your reading. So let's get into your other cards. You guys got willpower, boundaries, justice, and inspiration. So some of you guys may really be taking a hard look at how you spend your time in the month of February. I feel like you are really feeling the need to reclaim your time and your energy. Maybe you are realizing how much of your energy you give away to others, or how drained you've been feeling lately. Maybe you've been taking a hard look at your schedule, your time, and how much of that you have given away without any recourse, without taking any of it back. I feel like you are starting to make choices around a better use of your time. and kind of pouring your energy back into yourself instead of giving it so much to everyone else. So you may be deciding that you're not going to burn yourself out anymore, and you're not going to work yourself to the bone, and you're not going to push yourself until you're exhausted. And instead, you're going to be a little bit more selfish and a little bit more conscientious of like, I feel really burnt out today. And you know what? Maybe it's time for me to take a rest day. Maybe it's time for me to take a sick day. Maybe I don't have to work until I'm absolutely, totally depleted and I have nothing else to give. Maybe I can pay attention to ways I can reconfigure my schedule, ways I can try to cut down on my workload, ways that I can make sure that I'm taking active steps to actively rest and actively bring my energy back up. So ways we can do that come to my mind: taking walks in nature, taking a day to rest and maybe laying in bed a little bit, taking a day to spend with friends, having a long phone call with a friend, doing things that are creative in nature, painting, cooking, depending on, some people don't like that it's a chore to them, but some people really get regenerated that way. Reading a great book, that's another great way. There's so many things we can do to make sure we're really looking out for ourselves, and that it's kind of a fair energy exchange. It's not just I'm giving, and I'm not getting anything back. And you may find that the more you take stock of this and the more you're really careful about like, yeah, I kind of burnt myself out there and I didn't really use my energy the best and I was feeling like completely depleted afterwards, then the more we can kind of change that habit and take steps to make sure that we are looking out for ourselves. And I think we'll find that when we thought we were doing something so nice for others by burning ourselves out and over giving, actually, we really weren't doing a service to anyone, not to ourselves, but not towards others either, because we really are, when we're acting from a place where we're depleted, we have nothing left to give, we're not giving as much as we may think we are. It's like if you've ever tried to use your battery when it's on like 1% and you have to like bring down of your phone and you have to bring down the lighting so it's completely dim, bring down the screen brightness so it's on like 0 and then turn on airplane mode and low battery mode or whatever, and we're trying to scramble to use it. We're not using it on its full potential, right? We're not getting everything out of that phone that we could if we were using it on its full charge, battery, full potential. We know we can trust it. And by the same token, when we're trying to overextend ourselves, give to everyone else, make sure that we're looking out for everyone besides ourselves, we're usually not the best version of ourselves. And we're giving this kind of tiny fraction of ourselves to others. And so we may think we're doing this big kindness, we're helping people, but those people may be helped out better if we actually took the time to actively rest, to look out for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to give ourselves a little bit of a break. That would probably be the best use of our time. And we would probably find that in those interactions and in those exchanges we have with people, those energy exchanges, that the more we are mindful of our energy and the more we take the time to patch our energy back up, the better off we're going to be. Kind of like that car that gets really well maintained and gets taken for an oil change and gets, the tires changed regularly and gets cleaned out regularly and gets checked up on regularly. That's probably actually going to run a lot longer than the car that just gets driven every day. No maintenance, no energy put into it. That's going to die out pretty quickly, right? So we really need to make sure we are charging our battery back in. We're looking out for ourselves. We are maintaining ourselves. And I feel like you guys are going to be making a lot of those changes in February and really paying attention to that. By the way, some of you guys may feel really connected to pile 3 because you got 2 of the same cards as pile 3, even though I shuffled the deck really well. So clearly, it's assignment for you guys, willpower and boundaries, that you guys are going to put some energy into some boundaries. And also with willpower, you may be making changes with like your physical health and, the energy of whether you actually go to the gym, whether you look out for yourself in that way, what kind of food you eat, whether you're eating really healthy food that nourishes and makes you feel amazing, how you're spending your time, whether you're maintaining yourself. I think sometimes when we have so many people who demand things of us, we kind of can neglect a lot of self-care. It can feel indulgent, like, oh my God, I'm a new mom. Why would I go to the gym? Or I'm so busy at work. I have all these clients. They always demand stuff of me. I can't just take the day off and like lay in bed. But if that's what you feel called to do and you're genuinely like, I need that rest, I need to sleep, then that is absolutely the best thing you could do for yourself and your clients. And if they don't get it, if they don't understand it, oh well, they will still benefit from the end result. But I feel like you guys are going to be amazed at how much more productive you can be, how much more you can get done, and how much more successful and overall awesome you will be the more work you put in to yourself. Because a lot of times it kind of does feel like work, repivoting our relationship to rest, to ourselves, to what we deserve. It can involve a lot of unpacking. It can involve a lot of self-inner work, even with ideas of our own value. Like, I don't deserve to just have, nice things flow into me. I have to earn every penny. I have to fight for everything I get in my life. So I can't possibly sit back, relax, and welcome in abundance. I have to be breaking my back. And it does take a little bit of work to kind of work through that and to push ourselves into this new energy and to align ourselves with a new sense of self. It's funny because we'll put the work into self-improvement in other ways. Like, we'll put the work into like, I'm going to get more disciplined. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to, go to therapy or whatever. But when it comes to like, what is your relationship like to rest? I know a lot of projectors in human design feel this. Like, are you someone who actively rests? Are you someone who seeks out days where you can go have fun and enjoy the city you live in and have fun with friends? And would you feel guilty about that? Would you feel weird if you spent a day laying in bed? Would you feel awful if you, instead of going into work, you kind of called out sick and went out with your friends and just enjoyed yourself? If so, you may need to like think about that. You may need to think about ways you can reposition your idea of what you deserve and how you deserve to spend your time. So yeah, that is something I think you are working through this month. I know it's easier said than done with the work culture we have in most of the world, but something you guys should think about. So we got the Two of Swords, the Moon card, the Judgment card, Justice, the Nine of Wands, the Hanged Man, and the Ace of Cups. So with the Judgment card, there may definitely be some reinvention happening for you guys. You may really be redoing your version of yourself, the person that you present to the world, the person that you display to others. And you may be taking a very harsh look at, like I said, how you move through the world, the person you embody. I feel like in a way, some of you guys even want to make pivots with like your fields or your career path or how you work. I'm hearing work smarter, not harder. So there's something with you making yourself almost more efficient or not giving your energy away to needless or pointless things that waste your time. How can you reclaim your energy? How can you allow yourself to have more energy to give around? I feel like that's a major question on your mind this month. Some of you guys may also have other things revealed to you with the Moon card. You may be having really vivid dreams. You may be feeling a lot more psychic at this time. And you also may be having a hidden truth be revealed, especially as Pluto enters into Aquarius. Pluto is the great truth teller, the great revealer, the plumber that kind of fishes out all the gunky stuff that, maybe stuffed down in our drains and we try to like hide away, and Pluto pulls it all out and reveals it. So you guys may have some kind of purging, releasing of knowledge that comes out to you. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not getting a certain sector of your chart that it may specifically involve, but I do feel like for you guys, there may be some kind of revealing of information. And also, again, Spirit keeps going back to your tendency to overgive in relationships, or your tendency to look the other way and be a really loyal friend even when others don't deserve it. And I feel like this is like a deep-seated tendency in you that supersedes all your other relationships. Like, it's very dominant in you, and it's something that you're really going to need to restructure for yourself. Is why do you feel like you're not good enough? Or why do you feel like if you are not over extending yourself at all times, exhausting yourself, then you haven't done enough? You know, we can't help anyone else unless we help ourselves first. So I definitely feel like some of you guys are gonna have to really buckle down and start thinking about that really strongly. But we also have the Justice card. So for some of you guys, this could be some kind of a legal situation that winds to a close. This could be some kind of a legal situation where things finally start shaking out or coming to an end, or you get more information about this. You also may be seeing a situation more clearly, getting more information about any kind of legal situation, getting more guidance with that. This could also be a good time for you guys to initiate some kind of legal process, even if it's just applying for a house that you want to move into, or applying for a job, starting to send your resume out, doing research into a place you want to move to or a place you want to visit. Any kind of information gathering or information putting out there, I feel like could be a major theme for you in the month of February. I also am seeing that you are going to be seeing a relationship a little bit differently. If there is like a relationship, a romantic relationship in your life, it feels like you guys may be spending a lot more time together and really like that one-on-one bonding, kind of like intermeshed, I want to say, but not in a negative way. I feel like this is a really quiet, beautiful time for you guys to bond. I'm hearing if you have a family, this may be a really great time for like family bonding. Like, you have kids or anything, you may be spending quite a lot of time with them. With the Ace of Cups, that can also represent pregnancy sometimes. So not for everyone, probably a small percentage, but if you are in a relationship, I feel like this will be a great time for you to like renew that relationship and put as much energy into that as maybe you put into work and other things as well. Almost like going deeper with that, being more honest with each other, being more honest with yourself about them. And with the 9 of Wands, I feel like you need to know that almost like the things you've been working on or the things you've been trying to make happen, there's something about they'll always be there. So there's maybe some fears you have about it being taken away, or if you don't give it your all, that whatever this is going to slip through your fingers somehow. Like, if you're not putting in work so much to your career, then, you know, you'll get fired. Or if you're not, trying to redo your house and putting in work every weekend with the renovation, then the house is going to fall apart, you know, that kind of vibe. And just, you need to know that whatever it is, it's going to be there for a long time. And this is not a flash in the pan energy. It's not going to disappear tomorrow. So take as long as you need to make this happen in the right way, and focus on that long-term vision of what you want to happen with this. Focus on, kind of like slow and steady wins the race. So you don't need to give your all to it. You don't need to give everything. I'm also seeing some of you guys pivot. So there's something with your career, or this could be a creative hobby, but it's almost like you've been doing it a certain way and you're going to learn to do it a little bit differently. There's something that maybe you're putting more of your energy into. This could be something that has been tempting you, or you've been wanting to pivot away from it. You've been wanting to maybe do things different, but then there was this fear that if you did, that everything would get ruined, everything was going to fall apart if you made this change. And I feel like you have been wanting to make this change for a while, and I feel like you are able to really lean into it in the month of February. I'm also seeing for some of you guys going to a psychic or a tarot reader, getting some kind of like professional spiritual guidance. It could also be like a Reiki healer or something like that. But I do feel like you guys are going to feel the need for a professional psychic or spiritual person to weigh in on your issues this month. So you may be seeking out those professional services, getting a recommendation from a friend about some kind of spiritual person, even going to like a botanical or going to get candles, spiritual candles or something. But I really feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a professional consultation, like a second, third party, who can give you some spiritual wisdom. And I feel like that is really valuable and insightful for you, because it's almost like you need that secondary permission. You need that other person who's going to give you the go ahead, because there's a lot of things that I feel like you want to change in your life, but then there's still a lot of that fear, and there's a lot of that sense of scarcity. And if I'm not giving it my all, if I'm not going full systems ahead, then nothing's going to change, or I'm not going to move forward. I'm not going to get my goals. I think you need to know that everything is unfolding in divine timing. Everything is happening on time. So not to worry, it's going to work out. You know, it's kind of like that vibe of like, you can speed down the road at like 90 miles an hour, or you can go at 30 miles an hour, but either way, you're going to reach the same destination. So if you're a slow driver like me, you want to go at 30 and enjoy the view. I know not everyone feels that way, but yeah, I feel like, you know, take the scenic route, enjoy, and let it unfold for you in a really pleasant way, instead of putting the pedal to the metal and feeling like you have to go as fast as you can and it needs to happen now. I feel like a lot of you guys as well, you may be getting more wisdom this month. You may be getting more spiritual downloads and growth. You may be educating yourself somehow. So increasing your education or learning, doing a lot of research, I feel like could also be a major vibe for you this month. Even buying a course, or again, consulting a spiritual leader in some way for some guidance from them, maybe taking like a course with someone who offers it in the spirituality somehow. That may be a vibe for you as well. But I almost feel like you are really learning to invest in the things you want to do. So maybe putting some money towards, like, if you've had a hobby and you've always wanted to pursue it somehow, but you haven't really done anything with it, or you haven't bought anything with it. Of course, you don't have to, but that's what I'm seeing is like, there's some kind of investment, some kind of like, I want to enroll in this course, or I want to study with this person, or I want to, I don't know, buy this expensive book about it that I always wanted to buy, but I thought it was too much money and now I'm just going to buy it, you know? Yeah, I feel like you're kind of moving ahead in that. So let's get some more cards. We got in the hand. The universe is your partner, the wall, obstacles, eye of the needle, intentionality, and perfect storm, the courage to step into life. So I think you're being a lot more intentional with your energy. And you're realizing that in a way you don't have unlimited energy. You know, of course we can generate new energy for ourselves, but we do have to be intentional. We have to realize that life is relatively short and we have not an endless well of energy to pull from. So if we exhaust our energy or spend it in stupid directions, like wasting our time, you know, dawdling, playing video games all day, or going online and just wasting it, then, you know, that's an amount of energy that we could have used towards something that would have been really great for us. That's an energy that we could have used towards a goal, a life change, a regeneration. And also, again, I'm seeing some of you guys really go out in like the city you're in and like spending a day. Like maybe when you do have a day off, you do tend to like just go online all day or go on Netflix and chill and just, you know, kind of, sometimes that can be a great way to recharge your batteries, but sometimes we need to make sure we really take those steps to like have a day out, see people, see friends, enjoy ourselves, go to that cute little cafe nearby, go to the cute bookstore and browse around. If you are like me, going to a psychic, I love doing that still in my spare time. Anytime I have a day off, I love to see a psychic if I can. Obviously, you don't want to go like all the time to psychics because your guides can get a little like, okay, girl, you need to, I've been told that by a psychic. That's how you know it's bad, when the psychics are telling you need to stop going to psychics. But I still, you know, once in a while, there's nothing better than going to see a psychic and just seeing what they have to tell you. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, you know, make a day of it, do something fun, make sure you're being intentional with your days off, make sure that you are looking out for yourself a little bit, because I feel like there's a lot of burnout around you and there's a lot of a sense of, I don't have enough time in the day, or I just feel exhausted all the time. I feel so at wit's end. And the only person who can change that energy is going to be you. So make sure that the life you're living is the life you want to be living and not a facsimile of that, not just like a shadow version of like, it's kind of similar, but not really. And I feel burnt out and tired all the time, because that's not what we want for ourselves. So let me get some message cards for pile number 4. What messages do we have for pile 4? So we got forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? When peace is your priority, negativity cannot exist. How can you see through the eyes of source, energy, and prioritize your inner peace? Okay. This one says, things are not what they seem. You are only trapped by your illusion. What freedom do you seek? Out of the woods, you made it through. What newness is emerging? So I feel like for you guys, like I said, you may have more options than you realize. You may not be as trapped. You may feel like I have to put this work in, or I have to be in these relationships, or I have to do blah, blah, blah. And the reality is you don't have to do anything. You have so many endless opportunities and options in this lifetime, and you can live exactly the kind of life that makes you feel so joyful and happy. And you have a lot more power than you may think you do. So once we realize that, we can really pick and choose the things that make us feel fulfilled, the things that make us feel beautiful and happy and excited, instead of the things that make us feel drained or burnt out or chained. You know, anytime we're feeling chained and exhausted and like we have to keep going with something even though we hate it, that's such a low vibrational place to be working from. So, you know, putting up boundaries for yourself and really listening to them and really taking the time out. Sometimes this is about taking like an active step beforehand. Like sometimes the things that actually free us the most aren't as fun to talk about. Like it's going through your finances and realizing you need to make a better budget. And that can actually be incredibly empowering and freeing and fun, even though it's not fun in the moment, but the effects are fun because then we have more money. Having more money is fun. Or, you know, sitting down and really thinking through that relationship that always drains us with that person that always makes digs at us. It's not fun in the moment, but once we clear that person out of our life, we may feel a lot happier and more fulfilled. So doing the work in advance, really being willing to look at a situation head on and take it on and kind of like see what we need to purge, see what we need to clear out, see what we need to get rid of in our life, even if it's just bitterness of our own. You know, not holding on to grudges or anything, but like moving into the new is so important for happiness. You know, we shape our destiny every single day. So I think for you guys, this is about realizing your power, realizing your freedom, and no longer engaging with the things that make you feel free or unfree or trapped or stuck. Yeah, let me get some astrology dice for pile number 3. We got the 6th house, we got Sagittarius, and we got, wow, the nodes. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, the 6th house is the house of how we spend our day. The 6th house is what we do with our time. The 6th house is how we are at work, our work schedule and routine. And I feel like a lot of you guys are making choices with that. Is there a way you can better use your time? Is there a working schedule you could stick to that would make you feel a little bit more energized? Maybe it's that you wake up and right away you check your emails and you're instantly working from home and you're so burnt out and you're so resentful and you're just eating whatever because you have no time. So you just grab, you know, a donut and a pizza and your body feels exhausted. And then if you learn to not check your email in the morning, go take a walk in the sunshine, come back, eat a protein, healthy breakfast that gives you energy, then maybe actually that's going to make you feel so much better long term. Or maybe it's, you know what, I can't continue on this work schedule. I need to schedule in another day off. I need to schedule, you know, an afternoon off, or I need to pivot around this client meeting so that they're all on the same day instead of spread out. whatever it is, I feel like you guys are taking a really fine-tooth comb to your schedule and you're clearing a lot of stuff out and you're making changes with that. We also have the nodes, the north node. So I feel like for you guys, this is about a destiny moment. This is about the fact that you really do have the ability to change it. And you may find that the more clear you are, sometimes we're wasting so much energy and we don't even realize it. It's like, I know this is a stupid example, but when I worked for an estate sale, we'd always have to like clear a room or whatever, right? And then we'd have to go sort through the stuff that we liked. I love estate sales and I used to always shop at this estate sale. And then the lady was like, do you want a job here? And I was like, yes, because I'm obsessed with estate sales and antiques. So anyway, when I actually started working there, I was so bad at organizing, typical Pisces, right? So I was like completely lost when it came to like, this is how to organize and clean a room. And I used to like take items one by one. So I would take like the lamp and I would bring it into the other room. And finally the lady who worked there, she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm clearing the room. And she was like, no, this is why you work smarter, not harder. And she shoved a box into my hands and she was like, now put a bunch of stuff into that box, like multiple things. And I was like, okay. And I didn't, I was kind of like, well, it's kind of annoying to me because I liked kind of organizing each thing one by one, wiping it down carefully, like clearing it of dust and then putting it in the room. And like, I liked that process, but she was like, no, just get as much stuff into this box and then we'll deal with it separately. And that literally cut the time by like 90%. And even still, it stayed with me today. It's been really helpful. Like if I need to quickly clean a room or something, that process of like get everything in one big bag and then sort it out later actually helps so much, and it cuts the time in like a crazy amount. And my point of bringing that up is a lot of times we just get into like a rut of behavior. We think we're being productive. We think what we're doing is helpful for us. We think like, no, this is fine because I'm working. Because I was like, I'm working. I'm going back and forth between these rooms. I'm wiping all the items down. Like I'm doing good. But technically, time-wise, it was a waste of time. And actually, it was so much easier to put everything in a box and then walk once instead of walking like 15 times back and forth. So sometimes those things, like it feels almost unintuitive. Like it feels slightly lazier to us. Like, but technically I'm not doing as much as I was before, but it's 10 times more productive. So what can you do to change how you spend your time? What can you do to make a better and more valuable use of your time? I think you're really being called to think about it in February. Then we also have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the learner, the student, also the teacher. It is in the 9th house of higher education. And I really feel like a lot of you guys are going to be educating yourself. You're going to be improving your knowledge. Maybe you are ready to pivot into some kind of position of authority like Jupiter has, that 9th house teacher vibe. And maybe this is something that you need to get more education. You need to learn more. You need to pay attention more to certain subjects so that you can be some kind of a teacher in some way. So again, put that energy for yourself. It's kind of like the best teachers in school. A lot of times those best teachers, they will spend the summer instead of just, getting a second job at like the hardware store or, just chilling for the summer, they will take a secondary course to improve their education. They are trying to improve themselves. They are trying to get better at it. And I feel like that's something you guys are being called to do, is like really push yourself forward into the best version you can be. Because I think pile number 4, a lot of you guys are needing to just clear some of those time waster things out so you can work better on yourself. You can put more energy into yourself, and that's going to benefit the collective. So I think that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope it resonates. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, stories, your observations. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, all that jazz. And if you want to see more of my readings, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about, well, their late night thoughts of you. I posted that what is going to surprise you in 2024, as well as your innate gifts and talents that you were born with. And new readings go up all the time. There are over 75 exclusive readings over on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description for my Patreon. And if you would like to get a private one-on-one session with me, maybe you want that psychic reading that I was picking up on for you guys, then you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can just do an open channeling session, or you can ask specific questions. You get to kind of choose how the session goes and whether you want tarot, open channeling, astrology, a combination. It's totally up to you. So like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description if you would like a reading with me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.